Alright, so I am recording. Cool. So this here is the Nextstar 5 SE, and just got this in the just got this delivered on the 10th of March, and gonna hopefully try it out one of these days. I did a video unboxing it, which you can see all my boxes out here. This is something you probably want to do outside because, yeah, there's a lot of boxes. So unless you got a big area to work with, possibly don't want a big area to work with. So outside was convenient for me. Unfortunately, when I did my recording, it doesn't look like audio was picked up from my receiver and transmitter. So yeah. Anyways, this is the 5 SE, and this is what the hand controller looks like. Looks like my focus is out because of might be in a little bit of a focus. Let's see if we can tap the screen there. There we go. So that's the controller on the 5 SE. If you guys can see the screen there, it wants me to do an alignment, but I can't right now. So the first thing that I don't like about this telescope is the buttons. These buttons, hopefully you can see at the angle there, they're kind of like raised up a little bit, like they're not flat like some of the other buttons are. Just my OCD doesn't like these buttons to be curved like that. Hopefully you can see how they're curved. I don't know if you can see how they're curved, but anyways. Other thing I don't like is this controller. I don't like how it sits in there like that. It hooks on to that piece right there and then hooks onto that piece back there. I hate how the cord is going to get wrapped up, and you see when you're trying to do this at night and you got the cable all like this and you're trying to put it in and put the cable in and whatnot. It's just a hassle with that. I don't like the design for that. You'll have to pay attention to what you're doing at night, especially if it's dark. You won't be able to see what you're doing, and it doesn't feel like it sits in there, so you really have to look behind it and make sure it's sitting on that latch. Otherwise it'll just fall out and hit the telescope tripod and make a loud noise. And yeah, so let's see, what are we gonna do? I guess we'll go ahead and I'm actually using this here is a 2-watt thing. It came with the I believe it's the Orion power adapter is what I'm using. This is Orion's power adapter that I'm using with the Celestron Nextstar 5 SE. It actually works with the the 6 SE as well to power this device. If you wanted to run it off of a power strip, there it is down there on the ground. If you didn't want to run it off a battery, which I don't really like to use the battery unless I really had to. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bring the tube up real quick. So here we go. You can hear how loud the motor is. If I be quiet real quick. So that is it straight out. Index. It's got a camera port. I'm not too sure if that's actually for taking pictures. The program, the telescope that you're going to take pictures or not. But cool if it is. Apparently you can plug your camera into there. It's got an auxiliary port for your wireless, your GPS, if you wanted to do that. Accessory tray. This bar here is for the equatorial. If you wanted to have it as an equatorial tilt, you can pull that out just to your altitude. You can see the altitude there. Mine is 26 is what my altitude is, I'm pretty sure. And it goes up to the highest, I think, of like 80 altitude or latitude, whatever it's called. Mine is at 26, so the closest I can get is 25, I think, or 48. I think is the next one. I think this is like 48, something like that. I think we're 26. This fly won't leave me alone. He likes me. So here's the cover. Take that off there. There you go. Get a nice view of the optics there. Kind of a glare. It's a 1250 millimeter focal length with a focal ratio of f10. It is 5 inches, 127 millimeters in diameter, and it's a specacity green. So I went with this one over the SE8, mainly because of price and the fact that you could get the case, which is that case right there. You could get this case and the telescope for like $7.99, and yeah, and this one is obviously more portable because you simply all you have to do with the SE, with the 5SE, is take the mount here, or the telescope, bring it down. Okay, so if you watch where the index is, bring the telescope, the optical tube, straight down, even with that logo right there on the center. I'm just gonna wait for it to get centered. It's about right. So now that I have that, it's a 2-piece carry. You put the optical tube in the arm like it is. Just unscrew it from the tripod, throw it in the case. Well, not throw it, but put it in the case. It's got a strap on it for right there. Locks the optical tube in the arm in place. Put your accessories, your power cable, your AC adapter, your diagonal, your eyepieces. A few eyepieces can go in there, and then you can just carry the tripod. So it's a simple setup, take out, rather than, you know, I actually ordered another bin because my astronomy club president has one for the arm and one for the optical tube, and for the price of that case and the telescope, it's not too bad, so I went with that. That is pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I look forward to hopefully using it. There's a bird up here watching me right now. Who wants to use the telescope? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that was supposed to be it, but that's not all, because and there's a CD, your star diagonal, I believe that's an erect diagonal, bubble leveler, an eyepiece, a finder scope, which is already on the telescope, RS-232 cable. I think I mentioned a bubble leveler. I'm not too sure what this thing is for. I don't have a clue what that is for, so if any of you guys know what this is for, feel free to tell me what it is. I'm assuming it goes into the controller, but I'm not sure what plugs into that. So I don't have a clue. This goes into the controller, I would assume. Something goes into that, and I'm not too sure what goes into this plug right here. So, yeah. Star diagonal, I believe that's an erect diagonal, so you can look at this during the day. Obviously, you'll want to use a solar filter for this telescope when you're going to be looking at the moon or looking at the sun. So don't take this telescope out and look at the sun without a solar filter. I should correct myself now and make sure you understand. This telescope can look at the sun, but it needs a proper solar filter before you can do that, which will run you about $100, depending on how good of a quality solar filter you use for it. Personally, I'd recommend 1000 Oaks, just because they have high quality glass solar filters. You can get a cheap one for you know, like 20 bucks or 10 bucks, something like that. You could all probably use make your own, obviously at a film strip if you wanted to, but you know, I'd rather just spend the money to get a nice quality solar filter and call it a day than to use a cheap solar filter. So I don't know, I haven't tried a cheap solar filter, so I can't really knock it. I'd love to try some of these homemade solar filters out so I would know for sure. But when you're wanting to do photography with it, take pictures of the sun, probably want a good solar filter, be able to see some of the solar flares and stuff. Anyways, I think that's it now.